everyone, this is Gina. Today I'm going to show you how to make a Lariat style necklace with the stuff in the newest treasure bags, Denim Days and Denim Nights. This is the version for the Denim Nights. This is the version for the Denim Days. Of course, you can do this with anything you have in your stash. You do not have to have the beads that I have or the chain that I have. You can do this regardless. It's just a techniques video. So you can gather some things that are similar and follow right along with us. So let's go ahead and look and see what it takes to make this particular style of necklace. Oh, and we're making earrings too. Yep. Okay, let's go look. Okay, so we're going to make this very simple, very cute lariat style of necklace here. And this one I did with the Denim Nights treasure bag, and we will be doing the Denim Days during this tutorial. So it's very simple, as you can see. And what we're going to be using are the disc beads in both bags. We've used some previously, but they're a very long strand and you should have a whole bunch left. So in the Denim Nights, it's this darker color. In the Denim Days, it's this lighter color. So I'll be using that one during this particular part of the tutorial here. And then you have these little tiny heart beads in the Denim Days. They're the steel blue color. And then in the Denim Nights, they're a little bit darker blue spray painted glass beads like this. So we'll be using those. And then in both bags, you have these two little heart pendants. We'll be using both of those. One of the toggle clasps, 2 ear wires, and then we'll be using an 8mm jump ring. And you don't want a really thick gauge for this, a little bit thinner gauge, probably about 21 gauge perhaps. And then we are going to be using 2 4mm jump rings. We'll need some 8/0 seed beads, and I have the Toho nickel. I've been using that a lot with this bag because it goes perfectly with the metal tones we have in this bag. So I'll be using some of those. And then I've got some eye pins, and we're going to use quite a few of them. Mine are about 1 inch long, I think. Let me measure it. You can cut them down, of course, but these are about 1.25 inches. So you'll need a bunch of those. And then I have 4 head pins. So eye pins and then 4 head pins. And those are for the earrings. And then you're going to be using your chain that came in the bags. So just get out your chain. And then we'll be using in both bags these rainbow little cubes. It came in both bags. You have 22 pieces, I believe, something like that. We'll be using those regardless of the bag you have. So go ahead and get your things together and we'll get started. Okay, we're going to start by making little looped components to hook together for our design. So we are going to start with one of our eye pins. Like I said, if you have long ones, that's fine. You can just cut them down, and you can actually make more eye pins out of them if you have very long ones. So you won't have to waste the extra length. So I'm going to drop on an 8/0 seed bead, and then I'm going to put a cube on, and then another 8/0 seed bead. I'm then going to grab a pair of chain nose, or you can use flat nose pliers, and just place it right above the 8/0 seed bead, about 1 millimeter above it, and then just bend that wire into a 90-degree angle like this. Then I'm going to cut down the excess so that I have about 1/4 inch here sticking out of my component like this. Then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and I'm going to place them on the very end of that wire. And let me get you in a little closer here. And then I'm just going to start to turn. I'm going to turn as far as I can. I'm going to take my plier out, turn it over, put it back in, grasping towards the front of that loop, and just continue to turn. And I will have a nice little loop like this. So you have a double loop unit, and you're going to make 8 of those. And then once you've made 8 of those, then you will do the same with your discs and with your hearts, exactly the same process. And with the discs, we will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 discs, I believe. So we'll make 8 cubes, and you can do this any way you want. Actually, you don't have to do it exactly like I'm going to do it. You can just do it. You can make as many different components as you would like and hook them together. If you want more hearts, do more hearts. If you want more discs, whatever. But I have made 8 cubes, and then I'm going to make, I think I said 7 discs, and I will confirm all of this, but I'm just looking at my previous design. So it's the same process. I've put an 8/0 seed bead, a disc, and an 8/0 seed bead onto my eye pin here. And then I'm just going to place my plier about 1 millimeter above that eye pin, or that seed bead, sorry. And then I'm just going to turn my eye pin. Just like that. And then I can cut that down to about 1/4 of an inch. Grab my plier right at the very end of the wire, right there. Sorry about that, I was out of camera. Turn as far as you can turn, and then turn your plier over and grasp again, and continue to turn. And you should get a nice little loop, and both sides will look the same. Now, if they're not at the same angle, then you can just grab 2 pairs of pliers and arrange them so they're both at the very same angle, just like that. We'll do a heart just for good measure, and I will come back and tell you exactly how many of each component, just to confirm it and make sure. But I'm going to show you one of each component, then I'm going to go make the amount I need, and then we will continue. So I'm going to pick up another eye pin. I'm going to pick up one of my little hearts, and I've got an 8/0, a heart, and then an 8/0 on the eye pin. The exact same process. Place my plier just a little bit above that seed bead, and then turn a 90-degree angle. And I'm trying to turn it so that my components will be the same direction. So if not, you can always adjust them at the end, like I showed you previously. Cut this down to about 1/4 of an inch. Grab my pliers. Sorry, I can't get it. And place it at the very end of the wire, and then turn as far as you can. Take your pliers out, turn them over, put them back in, and continue to turn until you have a nice little loop. Now, if it's off-centered like this one is, you can put it towards the back of the loop and just push that back and center it, and then close this side. Just like that. Now, if they're not the same angle, again, we'll just straighten them out. Just like that. So, those are the 3 components we're going to be making. Okay, so what I have done is 8 cubes, and 7 discs, and 6 hearts. I've got a couple of them laying over here how I want to put together the bottom portion of my necklace. So I'm going to start with a heart, and then I'm going to use one of the tiny hearts on the component I've made, 3 links of chain, and then a cube, and then I think it's 9 links. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 links of chain. You can put these together any way you want, with any amount of chain in between. This is what I'm using because it lays out nice together, so that one is longer than the other, and the components that I'm putting on are laying in the space that's open. On one side it's chain, and then a component, and then a component, then the heart. So you can see it just lays together nice. So let's start with this first one here. Now, it's difficult to open the chain. This little chain, for some reason, is kind of hard to deal with. You can do it, and it opens easily enough. It's trying to find where it's open that's difficult. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first heart component, and we're just going to find the side that opens on your loop. And just open that, pick up your heart, and put it on there, and close your loop. So you just crank it up and then crank it back. Then I'm going to open the other side because it's just easier than struggling with my chain. And I have 3 links of chain. And I am going to find the side of the loop that opens here. And I'm going to drop on my 3 links of chain. You can open and close your chain instead of your components too if you would like. It's just that I find that this is a little easier for me to do. So now I have this. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit here. And then I'm going to put on a cube. So this is my 3 links, and then I'm going to put it on this cube. So I've just opened my component, and I'll slide that chain on there, and then just close my component, just like that. And then I'm going to put on 9 links of chain. And again, you can just lay your chain out, lay your components out, and figure out how you want to put them on. They don't have to be the same as mine. You can be using completely different components and beads all together. It's just a technique, so you can do it any way you want. So there's one of my dangles. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except this time I have to open a piece of chain, and this is 4 links of chain. And see, I have a hard time finding the opening. There it is. Once you find the opening, it's not so bad. It's just, it blends really well. I think it's right there. We're going to find out. Yep, there it is. So you can just crank that little link open and then put it on your heart pendant. And then close it. Okay, so there is the beginning of that one. Then I'm going to use one of the discs, and I'm going to open the loop on it and drop it on the 4 links of chain. And then I have 4 more links of chain. So I will open these. And see, that's why I didn't, I'm going to open the component. It is so hard for me to see the little opening. Once I find it, it's no big deal to open and close. It's just trying to find that little opening. And there we go. Now we're going to put together I'm going to put this, see, and you can just lay it out once you get them done and see how they lay together and see if you like it. So you can do it any way you want with any type of chain. Now I'm going to grab my 8mm jump ring, and again, you want it to be, of course it's lost. Where did it go? Oh, I'm telling you guys, I lay stuff out and then it just like disappears. There it is. I found it. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. There it is. Okay, so this is like outside diameter, 8mm. You can use bigger or smaller, but it just needs to be not a huge gauge because I'm going to drop a couple seed beads on it. And if your gauge is too big to drop a couple 8/0s on it, just don't put the 8/0s on. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to start by putting one 8/0 seed bead onto my jump ring. So I'm just going to grab it, and I've cranked it open. Oh, come here. No, I know this wasn't that hard before. There we go. So I've got an 8/0. Then I'm going to drop on one of my links like this, and then I'm going to grab another 8/0. And the 8/0s are just on the outside are decorative. The one between them kind of spaces the little dangles out, but it's not completely necessary. But I like it. So once I put that 8/0 on, I'm putting the other strand on, or the other dangle, and then I'm going to grab one more 8/0, and I'm going to put it on the jump ring like this. And then I'm going to close this jump ring. Okay. Now, this is my, oops, go down there. This is my component, just like this. Now, I am going to grab one of my little hearts, and I'm going to, no, not a heart, a cube. I have to look at my other design just because I know that I spaced it out already, so I know that the order of the beads are pretty good. So I'm going to cut, or not cut, I'm going to open a cube here. And I'm going to place it on this jump ring, making sure I keep my 8/0 seed beads in the proper order here. So I want to make sure that I have, let's see, there we go. So I want to make sure there's one in the middle and two on either side, and keep it that way. Then I'm going to drop on this component, which will help me keep everything in order now, because those jump rings will kind of slide around. Now I'm just going to close this component, and it would have been easier to open the jump ring and pop this on, but you know, hindsight. There we go. Okay, and then on the other side I'm going to count out 5 links and put it on the other side. So my 5th link, I'll try to find the opening. I think it's right there. And I'll just crank that open. And I'm going to put it on the jump ring. And I'll do the first just 2 attachments just to keep my centerpiece aligned with the seed beads and everything. And then I will go ahead and go off camera, cut all the pieces of chain we need so that I have all the numbers and everything correct. And then I'll show you. So now I have this little piece of chain, and my next one was a disc. And again, you can put as many links of chain and as many components, or arrange it any way you want. This just happens to be the way I came up with how I want mine to be. Okay, so move everything out of the way. This is my beginning. I guess I should show you in camera. This is my beginning. Now I did go ahead and let's see. Okay, so I have messed it up. I messed it up. But it doesn't matter. We can put them on here any way we want. So actually, this component that I just did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, where did I get 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. So this one, actually, I had on top of this one on my last one. So I'm just going to, I'm sorry if I'm confusing you. I'll show you what I'm doing and hopefully alleviate the confusion. Okay. Generally, I like to lay it all out in advance, and I didn't do that, so I apologize. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 5 links on this side on the cube. And the next one is the disc. So there's 5 links and then a disc hooked to the cube. Like this. And the other one, I did 4 links and then a heart. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're just going to cut 4 links. And again, do whatever you want. This can be done any way you want to do it. You're just hooking links and components together the way that you think that they look pretty. So you don't necessarily have to do what I'm doing. All right, so I've got my 4 links. And I am going to put that on the jump ring next to, make sure that 8/0 seed bead is down, and put this on the jump ring next to the cube here. Close it. And then I'm going to grab a little heart component. And I did mention earlier, I've used like a gunmetal colored eye pin, just because I like the contrast. The little darkness of it is kind of nice. So I'm going to put this little heart component on this link here. And now I'm going to put a heart here, and then a disc here. And then I will put a disc here, and then I'll have some extra chain. So we're going to go ahead and do these hooked together, and then I am going to go off camera. I'm going to cut all the pieces of chain and show you exactly how we're going to put this together. So far, this is what we have. And I will lay everything out so that I don't confuse you any further. And I'll be back. Okay, so I have laid out one side of my necklace, got it all prepared so I can show you each component and each number of link of chain, and we'll do one side and then we'll do the other. Otherwise, I'm just going to get it all messed up. So now we have got on this side of our chain, so this is my left side, I have my 3 links and then a heart component, and now I'm going to connect a disc component. So I'm just going to open it and put it on this one and close it. And then I am going to connect a cube component. And again, do this any way you want, but I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing, just in case you want to do exactly the same thing I'm doing. Now I have a segment of chain. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my links, and I'm going to open my component, drop on my links, and I can get a tiny bit closer here so you can see. And then my next one is going to be a cube. So after my 6 links, and you can just pause in between each one so that you can keep up and do it at the same time if you'd like, so it doesn't get confusing on what's next. Okay, come here. So I opened the chain instead of the component, and I'm going to close. You can either open the component or the links of chain, however. Either way does the same thing, so it's up to you. So now I have a cube. I'm going to use one of my little hearts, and I'm going to open this component and slide it on this cube and close it. And now I'm going to open another cube and attach it to the heart. Okay, what side's open? There it is. Okay, and now I'm going to do another segment of chain, and this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 links. So I'm going to just open and put the links on and close it. And after that, I have a disc and a cube. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the disc and cube together, and then I'll connect the disc to. So I'm just opening the cube, and I drop on the disc. Oops. Come here. Close that, just like that. And then I will connect it to the chain. So I'll open the disc. And now I have 12 links in my segment of chain. So I'm just going to open this component, and drop down 12 links onto the component and close it. Now I'm going to put on my clasping on that side. So I am going to grab a 4mm jump ring, or 5. I think this is actually 5, doesn't matter. Whatever size you want. I used a smaller one on my last one, but it doesn't matter. And I am going to put my clasp on, the jump ring, and then put the jump ring on the chain and close it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have one side of my necklace completely done. Just like that. So now I'm going to go prepare for this side, show you exactly what I'm putting on it, and I will come back and we'll put it together. Okay, so as you can see, I have gone ahead and finished this entire side. And before you yell at me and say, now how are we supposed to do it? We're not seeing you do it. It's okay, because I've decided the easiest way to do this would be to write down what's on both sides exactly, so that you can pause on it, you can copy the list, and then have it for your reference. So you want to make sure when you're doing this that your right side has the short dangle and your left side has the long dangle. So I showed you to this point, and then you can follow from this guide. Now I'm going to zoom it in so you can see exactly what's here. I will read it off just in case it's hard for you to read or something like that, but I'm going to get this in frame here. Okay, So left side is the long dangle. You have 3 links, a heart, disc, cube, 6 links, cube, heart, disc, cube, 9 links, disc, cube, 12 links, jump ring, clasp. And of course these disc, cube, heart are your components. And then on the right side, you have short dangle. So this is on the short dangle side, cube, 6 links, disc, heart, disc, 6 links of chain, cube, heart, cube, disc, 8 links, heart, 15 links, jump ring, clasp. Now, if you want to play that back and write it down as I read it off, or if you want to just pause on this, that's fine. I have also written down the amount of components you'll need for each, because I thought maybe I had counted them wrong, but I think I was right originally. You need 6 heart components, 8 cube components, and 7 disc components. And so, of course, the disc is the faceted coin glass bead in the bags. I just like disc better, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead and pause on this and copy it. Okay. So, once you have done that, then this is what you end up with. This is the denim nights. I'll lay it out. And then we have the denim days here. And we'll go ahead and make a pair of earrings and call it good. So I hope you weren't confused, but I think just putting them together and calling out what I'm doing is not quite as it's not quite as easy to understand as if you just have a list. And again, you can do this any way you would like. As long as your strands, put your 2 chains together, as long as both sides end up equal in length, you can put your components and your chains on any way you want, including on the bottom here, of course. But this turns out really cute, looks really nice on. Doesn't look all that great when I lay it out on the desk, but it's a very pretty necklace. And we'll come back in just a second and we'll make a pair of earrings that look like this. Okay, see you in a second. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make 1 earring. Of course, you're going to double it and make 2. So you need a heart component, just like I showed you for the necklace. So use your eye pin and make a double loop with your 8/0 seed beads on either side of your heart. And then we're going to use a head pin, actually 2 head pins, and we are going to make 2 components, one with the cube and one with the disc. So grab a head pin. Mine is short, and I don't have to cut it down at all. It's actually just the right length. You can cut yours down. It's not a problem. So you're going to put on an 8/0 seed bead, then you're going to put on one of your discs, and then you are going to put on another 8/0. And do exactly the same thing we've been doing. We're just going to bend over the head pin, just like this, in a right angle, and then grab it at the very end, cut it down to about 1/4 of an inch if you have a long head pin, and then grab the end of it and start to turn as far as you can. Once you can no longer turn, take your hand out, turn your plier over, put it back in, and continue to turn. And you're going to do that, just like that, with a cube also. So you'll have a double loop heart and a cube and a disc. And then we are going to get 4 links of chain and 2 links of chain. So I'm going to grab my disc and I am going to open it and put the 2 links of chain onto it. And then close it. And then I am going to open up my 4 lengths of chain. Or actually, I'm not going to open the chain. It drives me crazy. I'm going to open the component. So on the side that lifts, I'm going to lift that, drop on my 4 lengths of chain. And there you have that. Then I'm going to grab my double looped component on my heart here. I'm going to open one side like this, and I'm going to drop on both components. So I'm dropping on the cube first and then the disc. Just do just the opposite on the next one, or just position it on your ear wire so that your 2 earrings mirror each other. So this is what I have. This is what I mean by mirroring each other. So there you go, just like this. Now I'm going to get an ear wire and just open the loop on the ear wire and drop this loop on the top of the heart on, and voila, I have an earring. I'm going to make another one off camera. I'll come back and lay everything out so that you can see the sets, and we'll call it good. Okay, my friends, here we are. We have both of them complete. This is the denim nights. This is the denim days. I think they turn out really pretty. They don't look all that great just laying out flat, but they're very pretty. They hang very nicely on the neck, and I think you can dress up or down these, and it gives you a lot of options as far as how you want to put them together. Again, you don't have to put it together the same way I did. The style will work regardless of the beads you use in the amount of links in between. As long as your length stays the same on both sides when you're finished, you're good. So anyway, that's what we've made today. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.